next page. You already have a little flap there. Above it, above what you have written, taped. I think we taped it, yeah. What we taped right there, I want you to write this. Okay, I want you to write parallel lines have the same slopes and different y-intercepts, okay? The same slopes and different y-intercepts. That front side of that paper that we put there is notes for you. It's telling you step by step what to do, all right? To write an equation for a line when they're giving you points and they're talking about them being parallel. So step 1, find the slope. So you have to solve for y to find the slope. And notice that these notes are giving you an example. So you need to look at that example and make sure you understand how to do that, because that's what we just did, changing from standard form to slope-intercept form. Then, after that, you will plug in the point they gave you for x and y. So on this example, -4, -2 is your x, and well, -4 is your x, -2 is your y. So you would plug it into the formula y equals mx plus b. Okay. So the reason they have the -4/3 is because that's the slope, and since it's parallel, it would have the same slope. And y would be -2, and x would be -4, and they don't know b. Okay. So that's the point of this is so you can find out what b is. So you would have -2 equals 16/3 plus b. Then you subtract 16/3 on both sides, so you'd be left with -22/3 equals b. Step 3 is to plug in your new y-intercept. So that's why the equation is y equals -4/3 x minus 22/3. Alright, flip to the back. And we're going to do this example here. It says, draw the graph of the line parallel to y equals 2/3 x minus 4 and passes through 1, -2. So it's parallel to that, but it has that point. So we're going to do those same steps we had in the front. So we have our point is 1, -2. So this is my x, this is my y. Okay. Alright, and the formula, of course, is y equals mx plus b. Now notice that this one is already in y equals mx plus b form. So you should know the slope. The slope is what? 2/3. And you should, since it's parallel, you know it's going to have the same slope. So I'm going to plug in my x and y. So instead of y, I'm going to put -2 equals, instead of m, I'm going to put the 2/3. And instead of x, I'm going to put 1 plus b. So then I'm going to have -2 equals 2/3 plus b. Subtract 2/3 on both sides, so I'm left with -8/3 equals b. So then my final answer would be y equals 2/3 x minus 8/3. Okay, then I wanted you to graph it. So your starting point should be, since your y-intercept is a not pretty number, okay, quotations, we're going to start at 1, -2. And then our slope would be 2/3, so our rise would be up 2/3. So I'm going to turn to the next page real quick and do a graph. So I said I'm going to start at 1, -2. And then I'm going to go up 2/3. Up 2/3. And remember I told you I need 3 points. So my line will look something like that. Okay. Okay, on the right-hand side, above the little thing that we taped in there, we're going to have perpendicular lines have opposite reciprocal slopes. So remember, parallel has the exact same slope. Perpendicular have opposite reciprocal. So, for example, you don't have to write this down. If my original slope was 2/3, opposite, since this was positive 2/3, would be negative. And the reciprocal part means I'm going to flip it, so it would be -3/2. Or if I had 2, my opposite reciprocal will be -1/2. Okay? Alright, so again, the front side is telling you all these steps. Alright, so you find the slope just like you did on the other one, so you have to solve for y if it's not already in y-intercept form. You don't take the exact same slope. Remember, you have to flip it and change the sign. And then you plug in your x and y and solve for b and plug back in. The exact same steps. The only difference is that this one you need to remember to change the slope. Okay. Alright, so on the back of that it says draw the graph of a line perpendicular to y equals negative 4x plus 2 and pass it through 0, 3. So this one is actually kind of simple. Alright, so it's not that much work because it's already in y equals mx plus b form. So you know that the slope is negative 4, but since it's perpendicular, I need to change the sign so it needs to be positive, and I need to flip it so it be 1 over 4. So that's my new slope. That's my rise over run. It says it passes through 0, 3, so that'd be my starting point. So we'll go right here. And since 0, 3 is the y-intercept, my equation is going to be y equals 1/4 x plus 3. Okay, and I'm going to go up 1 over 4. Up 1 over 4. And then my line will look something like that. Okay. We're almost done. Okay. Alright, so turn the page, and on the back of that page, I want you to write y equals mx plus b. What does the m represent? Slope. Hopefully that's what you said. What does the b represent? Y-intercept. What does the x and the y represent? A coordinate. And then I wanted to add a word, coinciding, which means it's the same line, same equation. Okay. Okay. On the last page, this is not really a whole graph, but it's already divided into 4, so I want to use this. Alright, so over here, in the middle, we have 6x minus 3y equals 15. Okay. So what would be my slope of that equation and my y-intercept of that equation? Okay, so let's hold off on that. Let's go over here. Slope intercept form. Okay. We're gonna do slope intercept form over here. So we have started off with 6x minus 3y equals 15. First step is to move my x. So I had positive 6x, so I'm going to subtract it. Because remember, you always got to do the opposite. So I'm left with negative 3y equals negative 6x plus 15. Then the number in front of the y, we're going to divide everything by. So divide by negative 3. So I'm left with y equals 2x minus 5. Alright, so that should help us out with the first box. My slope would be 2. My y-intercept would be negative 5. If I asked you for the parallel slope, since parallel slopes are the exact same, my parallel slope would be 2. If I asked you for the perpendicular slope, it's the opposite reciprocal, so I'm going to flip it and change the sign, so it'd be negative 1/2. And then the last one, we're going to graph that equation. So we are going to start at negative 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we'll go up 2 over 1, because that's our slope, up 2 over 1. So our line will look something like that. And we are finally done with slopes of a line.